Hey guys, E10 here from Sunbros, and it's time for another Hero Quick Look video. This time we're going to be covering the brand new hero to NA and EU, and SA, and probably everywhere else, Omen. And as always guys, if you guys enjoy the content, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course check out other Hero Quick Look videos, our top 5s, and our Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night live streams. Omen is a class warrior role mobility. As you guys can see in the bottom left, his attack damage and constitution are above average and ability damage and difficulty below average. Omen's passive is thirst. Every time Omen hits an enemy with a normal attack, he gains 1 thirst point. After reaching 5 points, Omen increases his movement speed and attack speed for 5 seconds. The strengthened normal attacks also deal true damage and reduce the cooldown for his first and second abilities by 1 second. Additionally, Omen's third normal attack triggers a second hit that deals 50% damage, and the counter is reset after reaching 5 points of thirst and after coming out of thirst. Omen's first ability is Death's Beckon. Omen uses his blade to pull all enemies in front of him closer, dealing damage and slowing their movement speed. His second ability is Untouchable. Omen enters a state of heightened awareness and gains damage reduction while increasing his movement speed for 2 seconds. In this state, Omen can reflect normal attacks, dealing physical damage back to the attacker and decreasing their movement speed, and adding any bonus normal attack effects from Omen's equipped items or buffs. Each attacker can only have their attacks reflected once. Omen's ultimate is Death's Embrace. Omen rushes forward and deals a bunch of physical damage to the first enemy hero he runs into. He then summons a plasma sword that curses the target for 5 seconds. While cursed, the target deals less damage with attacks and cannot leave the sword's area. Alright, next we're going to be moving on to Omen's pros and cons, starting with his pros, which are his strengths, things you're going to want to focus on if you're playing as him, and things you're going to want to avoid if you're playing against him. Omen's first and most obvious pro is his incredible crowd control. Starting off with his first ability, Death's Beckon, Omen is able to displace enemies and bring them towards him, which is a form of hard crowd control, followed up by a slow. The slow starts off at 25% and ends up getting up to 50% at level 6. Omen's second ability, Untouchable, also causes a slow whenever he reflects damage back to an enemy. And last but not least, of course, is his ultimate, Death's Embrace, which locks a target hero in place for 5 seconds, and it is an ability that we have now confirmed cannot be broken by anything including Shagnar's ultimate or Purify. So as if killing Xanis wasn't fun enough, you can now stop him from doing what he does best, running away, and lock him down and kill him. Omen's second pro is he has incredible damage reduction. Starting with his second ability, Untouchable, Omen enters a state of heightened awareness, gaining 50% damage reduction at level 1 and up to 70% at level 6 for 2 seconds. Additionally, when Omen uses his ultimate, Death's Embrace, for 5 seconds, the enemy cursed by the sword deals less damage. And moving on to his third and final pro, it's his incredible passive Thirst. Every time Omen hits an enemy with a normal attack, he gains 1 thirst point. After reaching 5 points, Omen increases his movement speed by 60 and his attack speed by 25% for 5 seconds. His strengthened normal attack will also deal true damage and reduce the cooldown of his first and second abilities by 1 second. I can tell you guys that the majority of Omen's damage comes from this passive. He does an absolute insane amount of true damage, and just overall damage and the attack speed increase is wild while his passive is going on, and it is really something to behold. So if you're playing Omen, make sure you guys engage in fights intelligently using that passive to the best of its abilities. Alright guys, now we're going to be moving on to his cons, which are his weaknesses, things you're going to want to avoid if you're playing as him, and things you're going to want to take advantage of and exploit if you're playing against him. Omen's first con is also his final pro. Without that incredible passive that we just named as his third pro, Omen doesn't do very much damage. As a warrior, Omen's damage is not going to be top tier, but when you really combine the amount of tankiness that he can provide along with the crazy crowd control, he's definitely still a very usable and quality hero. But if you're looking for a high burst damage hero, Omen is probably not it, even though he can output quite a bit when his passive is on. Omen's second con is that he's very timing focused, and what I mean by this is that between knowing when to hit his second ability to maximize that 2 second of incredible damage reduction, knowing when to ultimate heroes in order to lock them down and kill them, which can be really tricky because you can end up killing yourself. Of course, you can ultimate someone without the ability to follow up and really do all the damage you need to do. But what's actually the most difficult thing to time is his passive. Like I said, as his third pro and his first con, his passive is extremely important to the damage that he's able to output, and knowing how to time and when to time your abilities in combination with using that incredible passive is very difficult to do. So if you're not somebody who is really careful and really cognitive of paying attention to timers and cooldowns and all that stuff and using things at the very very proper time, then Omen might not be the hero for you. Omen's third and final con is that while most warriors are great frontliners, distractions, disruptive, big time AoE crowd control kind of guys, Omen is much more of a surgical kind of instrument where he kind of goes in and he's more of a supportive type of warrior that's going to go in and surgically pick out an enemy hero on the enemy team to subjugate and kill with his ultimate and all that kind of stuff. Instead of being like an all around just crazy up in your face kind of guy, Omen's not really that kind of playstyle. So that's kind of a con, but it's kind of just a different playstyle than we're used to from our heroes and off tanks. He's more of like a supportish off tank than he is really like a in your face off tank kind of warrior hero. So it's not really a con, it's just a difference in the kind of makeup that is Omen. But that's it for this one, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, make sure you guys check out our other hero quick look videos. And again, thanks for watching, and as always, until next time.